Hey guys, I bet you didn't know you're watching the descendant of a movie star. Well, not me, but the Volkswagen behind me. Certainly none of my ancestors were movie star material. Sorry, Grandpa. But the VW Buzz, that's just one of those cars that's an icon in real life, but also definitely on the silver screen. But here's the action hero of the bunch, the VW ID.Buzz GTX. It's got twin motors, 340 horsepower, all-wheel drive. It is the most powerful VW Buzz ever. And today, we're gonna check it out. But first up, let's break down the ID.Buzz lineup. There's 4 versions headed for Singapore. You got the Pro with a single motor, rear-wheel drive setup, and that has 5 seats. You got a big family? No problem. Get the long wheelbase. That's 25 centimeters longer, and it comes with 6 or 7 seats. And then you've got the GTX, which is coming to us only with the long wheelbase body and only with 7 seats. So wait, that's like, yeah, 4 versions. Anyway, you might see the ID.Buzz Pro in Singapore by September this year, and I'm guessing it's going to cost around about $300,000 with COE. That's for the standard wheelbase, and maybe $315,000 for the long wheelbase. I don't know for sure. I don't have ESPN. And the GTX, well, that's later. It's coming in Singapore early 2025. But nobody knows the price yet, not even here in Germany. Oh, well, come on, guys. You know you want the GTX no matter how much it costs, because first up, look at how much sportier it looks than the regular model. I mean, look at this grille in front here. Okay, the press material says it's a honeycomb pattern. It's more of a crisscross over here, but you know, the regular Pro has a cheese grater thing. I think that looks way more sporty. And you get these arrow-shaped LEDs over here. Why arrows? Because, well, arrows fly through the air. Probably, I just made that up. Oh, and of course, black. Black is sporty, right? So you get these GTX logos in black. And who can forget the wheels? You can get up to 21 inches with the GTX. Oh, and something else, here's a little secret. This cherry red color is exclusive to the GTX, so you can only get it with this version of the ID.Buzz. You can get it sort of monotone as well, but I think this 2-color scheme with the silver over here is it just nails it. But you know, come to think of it, kind of reminds me of someone. Ooh, and look at how nice and black it is inside here too. Black headliner, is this Alcantara? No, it's not, it's just black. And well, look at these seats as well. You've got this nice GTX logo here in case you forget what version you're driving. And ooh, who doesn't love a little bit of contrast stitching? Well, this texture here is kind of intriguing as well. It's not a full racing bucket though, so I think this car is kind of all party on the outside, but a little bit conservative on the inside. A little bit like me. Okay, now I want to show you 3 kind of interesting design quirks that this car has. Starting with this thing, it's called the Buzz Box. So let me just get this out of the way with a cup holder over here. Now this is a console box for storage, but well, I can actually take it out to show you a little bit better. The reason you can take this out is you can actually click it into place for the rear passengers to use if you want. But it is a very versatile box, so you can hide all your stuff over here. And there's actually a little tray over here, or a drawer, that rear passengers can use, and it goes all the way in. And something quite interesting I find is, well, this is an ice scraper, very useful in Singapore. Well, maybe not for ice, maybe for flies. And look at this, guys. That's a bottle opener. Anyone got a bottle of beer? Okay. Something else cool I want to show you guys is smart glass for the sunroof. Now, there was a version of the classic VW Buzz with 23 windows, man, but this is kind of a modern take on that because I just do this and it goes clear. And let's do this again, and of course it's opaque. Now it all has to do with crystals. I don't know how it works, man. I'm not a scientician, but check it out. Clear, opaque, clear. Ah! And number 3, guys, have a look at these daytime running lights over here. They stretch all the way here. Nothing special about that, right? But in some markets, this actually lights up at night. It's not allowed in every country, but I have heard that Singapore is gonna get this illuminated logo. It all has to do with the Land Transport Authority or maybe the traffic police, but apparently they have said yes. So way to go, guys. Way to show people that you can be cool and you can be fun. And I'm having fun too because this thing really moves. Woohoo! Okay, now this is a twin motor, so it has 340 horsepower. And that's enough for 0 to 100 in 6.5 seconds. Okay guys, that's not super fast of course, but I think it's faster than like your sort of executive sedan with your crappy 2-liter turbo engine. So it's pretty lively. And it does have that electric car responsiveness. And you might be asking, what's the point of building a fast family MPV? But, well, why not? I mean, fast is fun, fast is exciting, fast is cool. Like, there's this guy, I've seen footage of him, he put a Porsche engine inside his T3 VW bus, and then he put up videos of himself overtaking Porsches at the Nürburgring. Now, tell me that isn't cool. Oh, there's a Porsche. Maybe I can pass him. And actually, Porsche themselves did the same thing. Around about 40 years ago, they bought a whole bunch of VW T3s and they put in the engine from the 911 Carrera at the time. So it got something like 231 horsepower. So at the time, that was the most powerful VW bus ever. Why did they do it? Well, who knows? But come on, it was cool. So this ID.Buzz GTX is officially the most powerful VW bus ever. But would I want to drive it on the Nürburgring? Well, probably not. I will say this though, it is actually surprisingly good to drive. The steering actually feels quite meaty, and it is stable in that way that electric cars are with all the weight underneath the body. This is a big car though, guys, and it is a heavy car as well. I think it weighs around about 2.6 tons. So it's never going to be agile, but it sure is sure-footed. And you know what? I think you actually have to be going pretty hard to crash in this thing. But at the end of the day, do you really need twin motors and 340 horsepower in a family MPV? Well, probably not, but just to be sure, let's try the single motor ID.Buzz Pro. Now, if you jumped the gun and you went to a parallel importer and you bought one last year, I've got bad news for you, fella. Because this car now has more horsepower, 285. That's a jump of something like 80 something horsepower. And the torque has nearly doubled to 560 Newton meters. What does that mean? Well, it is actually pretty quick. Now, 0 to 100 used to take 10.2 seconds in this car, and it's now 7.9 seconds in the long wheelbase, 7.6 in the regular wheelbase. So you can save more than 2 seconds, and well, for me, I would use that time to write the great Singapore novel. Of course, it's not going to feel like a sports car, right? But I have to say, I've been pleasantly surprised by how easy this thing is to drive. You can see seriously far out from the window. It's almost like driving an SUV. I can see my house in Kuala Lumpur from here. And it's easy to place, even though the car is actually pretty wide. But in fact, in terms of footprint, the ID.Buzz isn't as huge as you would imagine. It's actually slightly shorter than, say, a BMW 5 Series, and that applies to the long wheelbase version as well, although it is slightly wider than that car. So if you can handle a 5 Series in Singapore, you should be able to get along pretty well with this car. And I want to say that, you know, in a nice twisty country road like this, it's not actually fun to drive, but it is kind of fun to be in. The only thing is, quality of the car, well, I have to say that the fingernails of quality do detect some cheap plastics, and there are, I have to say, cheap plastics everywhere in the car. So I guess batteries are expensive, and maybe motors are expensive, and you have to kind of economize on that somewhere. But the cabin is very pleasant because you've got these nice bright materials, you've got these nice textured surfaces all over the place, and it all makes for a very welcoming and very jolly environment. Oh, and something you might have noticed is it has a 12.9-inch screen now. It's bigger and it's got new software. And I don't actually want to waste time talking about the latest interface. It is super easy to use because it's very customizable. I've done that in other Volkswagen videos, so I'll put a link below. But something that I've just encountered for the first time is ChatGPT. So the ID.Buzz has it, but I just found out that it's actually not coming to Singapore. But never mind, let's try and find out what we're going to miss out on. Hey ID. It's Hello ID, isn't it? Hello ID. Who's the most influential motoring journalist in Singapore?
As of the 1st of September 2021, some renowned motoring journalists in Singapore include Bobby Ang from Talk Magazine and Christopher Chan from the Straits Times.
Oh man, what the hell? I gotta say though guys, in terms of vibe, right, I think I prefer this over the GTX. I mean, it's not quite so dark in here and it feels a bit more open and airy. And I'm even starting to feel a little bit lonely because in a sporty car, right, or a sports car even, it's just you and a special friend. But in a car like this, well, I kind of feel like a VW bus is all about the space and how you use that space. And that's really one reason the VW bus became such a hippie symbol. I mean, back in the 60s, you could fill it with all your friends and put some furniture and camping gear in it, and you just head off to spread peace and love. Now I really want to show you just how much space there is in the back of the ID.Buzz, guys. And you've heard the expression, room to swing a cat, right? Well, I just so happen to have a fine feline friend here. I call her Cindy Clawford. So Cindy's just gonna sit here and help me with this. Now, you know what cats are like, right? So I don't have safety goggles, so I'm just gonna put on my glasses. Got some safety gloves because we've only just met. Now this is serious, guys. Don't try this at home, but okay. Cindy, don't hurt me, but here we go. Wish me luck. Yeah, room to swing a cat. Ow! My radius. Okay, now let's check out the back seat properly now, guys. As you can see, I have no shortage of space back here. I even have a nice little tray table. Not only do I have my own aircon vents over here, I actually have my own controls as well, both for temperature and for fan speed. Now, if you're wondering about the back seat, let me show you what that is like. Just gonna pop out here and just tip this forward, and it's super easy, pretty much like a hatchback. Oh, and as I climb into the back, I do want to show you that you of course have electric doors. So let's see how much space I have here. Oh, okay, let me just drop this down so we can see each other a little bit better. Of course, I have to extend the headrest if I want to use this, but you know what? Look at how much space I have back here. I mean, I've got tons of knee room, and I'm 1.75 meters tall, but I am in no danger of having my hair restyled by the ceiling. So when they say that this car has room for 7 people on board, they really mean it. So one extra benefit of getting the long wheelbase is, well, more real estate means more space for batteries. So the long wheelbase version gets an 86 kilowatt hour battery, and the standard car has 79 kilowatt hours. So the bigger battery gives you a range of up to 487 kilometers for the Pro, with up to 461 for the standard wheelbase. Well, the twin motor GTX, well, the numbers aren't quite available yet, but I'm guessing around about 420. They do charge quickly if you can find a high performance charger though, 10 to 80% in just under half an hour for both of them. So I didn't actually know this until today, guys, but the ID.Buzz is actually made by Volkswagen's commercial vehicles division. And if you think about it, that makes total sense if you look at the origins of the VW bus. They go way back to 1947 when a Dutch Volkswagen dealer named Ben Pon, that's him on the right, well, he got the idea to build a cargo vehicle out of the Type 1 or the Beetle platform. So he made a little sketch and he showed it to Volkswagen. Long story short, they went ahead to build it, not on the Beetle platform, but its own stronger chassis. Oh, and by the way, that split windscreen, without it, the aerodynamics were terrible. So anyway, the Type 2 really took off because it was simple, cheap, and economical. But also, look at this drawing again. Look at the driver compartment, and look at how much space for stuff there is inside. And look at, well, I don't know what that's supposed to be. And I don't know if Pon knew what he had on his hands, but I think he more or less invented the van as we know it. So here we are now with this van with seats inside, and with all 7 seats up, you can have 306 liters up to here. There is something called a multi-flex board, and that helps to create a flat floor, but you can remove it. Well, if you leave 5 seats, you can load things up to the top of the backrest to give you 1,340 liters. And if you take those chairs out, you have 2,469 liters to play with. Okay, something you really need to know, guys, that second row of seats is not removable. It's something to do with wiring, and of course you can take these out, but oh man, they are heavy. And of course, if you take them out, you need somewhere to put them. And if you live in a flat like me, well, that's something to think about. And if you take them out, you gotta put them back in. Oh, my back. So is it thumbs up or thumbs down? Well, this car gets 2 thumbs up from me, simply because full-size electric MPVs are still pretty rare on the market. Okay, you got cars like the Maxus MIFA 9, another Chinese car, the Denza D9, that's coming in Singapore as well. Those are nice cars, but they're very luxurious and kind of serious. But this is fun. These make you feel like calling up your friends to say, hey guys, let's go somewhere, let's jump in and have fun. And for that reason, I would go with at least 6 seats, maybe 7. So what you want is the long wheelbase, and my recommendation is the Pro. It has a slightly longer range, and I think the performance is good enough. But hey, if you like the GTX because of the styling and because of the performance, well, that's entirely up to you, and I think you'll have fun with this as well. Either way, I think these cars make you feel like sort of just jumping in and looking for somewhere to go to wander around. It's the kind of car that makes you want to go big and then go roam. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you have any questions about any new car in Singapore, WhatsApp me now and I'll try my best to help you out. Thanks for watching. See you again.